The council meeting will now come to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
City of Romulus Council meeting for Monday, August 25th, 2014. The roll will show that all council members are present this evening. Number 1 is the agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairperson's report, 5 mayor's report, 6A clerk's report, 6B treasurer's report, 7 public comment, 8 unfinished business, 9 new business, 10 communication, 11 warrant 14-16, and 12 is adjournment. And a resolution would be in order to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Kraut, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Agenda approved.
2 is approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held August 11th, 2014.
So moved for August the 11th, 2014.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held August 11th, 2014. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Abstain, I was absent.
Okay, Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
3 is petitioner, and this evening we have Patricia Richardson, 10142 Wheeler in Belleville, Michigan, and she is requesting to sell Kiwanis peanuts for donations in front of Romulus Market the first weekend of September.
Good evening, council members. Just to give you a little background, you had a resident lived here in the city, Mr. Ed DeRossi, who is also a member of my Dearborn Kiwanis Club. He passed away, and in honor of him, we would like to continue to sell peanuts. Actually, we don't sell them. We accept donations for the peanuts. And it would be the first weekend in September. It wouldn't be all day, every day, but it would be sometime, maybe a couple of days to 3 days during that time period. And I'd request your approval to do that, please. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would be willing to make the motion that we authorize Patricia Richardson to sell or accept donations for the Kiwanis peanuts the first
Support,
weekend
Madam.
of September.
But I have a question.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for Patricia Richardson at 10142 Wheeler, Belleville, Michigan, request to sell Kiwanis peanuts for donation in front of Romulus Market first weekend of September. Discussion.
Just a quick question. Is the marketplace going to be told that you're coming there, or are you just going to pop up in front of there?
No, I got approval from him last year, however,
Very
I
good,
didn't have
very
time to
good.
come before the council.
Very
So
good.
he has all for it. He said we can be
No,
there as
he's
long
quite
as we wish.
good with helping the community, but I just didn't want you to pop up there and they didn't have any idea what you were coming.
No problem.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, it's been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Mr. Wadsworth. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you,
Okay.
council members, for your consideration. Have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you.
4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you. On the chair's report, earlier tonight, we had a study session with the administration to discuss the status of existing park reopening within the city, as well as the redesign and renovation of Merriman Park. And at this time, I'd like to recognize Ms. Makowski, Councilwoman Ms. Makowski.
I make a motion that we approve the proposed professional services contract with the Brickman Group to provide design, engineering, project implementation services, as well as the purchase and permanent installation of the permanent equipment needed to redesign and reopen Merriman Park as a neighborhood park, which includes the addition of a separate fenced-in dog park, Park, and for the amount to not exceed $99,576.07, of which $84,576.07 is from the Parks and Recreation Maintenance Fund, and the remaining $15,000 will be paid from a recent grant received from the Wayne County Parks Department. It is estimated that the park will be completely renovated and up and running in 4 to 6 weeks.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Malkowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the approved proposed professional service that was mentioned by Ms. Malkowski. Ms. Malkowski,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth,
Yes.
Mr. Kraut,
Yes.
Choate,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Ms. Malkowski,
Okay,
we
so-
recognize you again.
Okay, I make the motion that we approve the addendum to the existing contract we hold with Rink Management Services retroactive to July 2013. And this addendum would extend the contract through June 30th, 2017 at the monthly amount of $7,416.66.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, that we approve the existing contract we hold with Rink Management Services retroactive to July 2013. The contract would be extended through June 30th, 2017 at the monthly amount of $7,416.66. Ms. Makowski.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Okay. At this time, I want to read something that really kind of captured my heart a little bit. It was in my mailbox, and it goes to all the city council people. And I just want to read it. It says, "Dear City Council, thank you for serving your community. God loves you, and I love you. God bless all of you. You are the best. I appreciate all you do for us. Thank you for buying the fly swatters and helping our situations." And this is by Kathy. And she's a big thing. Thank you. I think that was really nice. And after that, with that, that concludes my report.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the chairperson's report.
Support.
been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Ms. Malkowski, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Choate,
Yes.
Ms. Malkowski,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved, and thank you.
Number 5 is the mayor's report, and Mayor, under H and I items, I have a request, someone would like to speak.
H&I, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, council and treasurer and deputy clerk and public. Quote I brought tonight is from Henry Beecher, and it goes as this: "A library is not a luxury, but one of the necessities in life." And I picked that quote because we started a new program that the librarian brought to my administration called Books in the Park. And boxes were built by our DPW. They were kind of emulated from a design that came from Novi and some other communities. We selected Marianne Banks Park and Fernandez Park to locate those boxes. The books that go in these boxes are not regular circulatory books from the stock and inventory. They're separate donated books. But the thought was to put books into the parks so when kids or adults are there, they can take books, put them back, and so forth. It's a great concept. It's working well in one of the parks. We did have a little hiccup already in Marianne Banks Park. Unfortunately, we had someone who took some books from the box and proceeded to destroy them in some of the restrooms and in the park. The reason I bring this up is I guess my plea to the public is that we're working really hard to open parks, to put new programs in place. My intent with the library was to, if this worked well in 2 locations, to expand this into some of the other parks. You know, I know it's often just a few that draw attention to these things, but it was disheartening to the library. It was disheartening to my staff. And I just ask that, you know, we work hard at opening parks and doing good things. As a community, let's take ownership of those. And I've actually had some residents that have seen some things go on in parks that weren't appropriate and notified us, and we're able to correct them. So, you know, we're going to try to continue to bring some good things to the public, and with council support, we will. But, you know, my plea to the public is please help us take ownership in those parks and make sure that when we make that investment and put the time into it, that they're there so everybody can enjoy. Thank you. A couple other things before I get into my business report. I did want to ask council, if I could, for a special resolution recognizing a 95th birthday that was on August 18th, and that was the birthday of Irma Wells.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes, Ms.
I would
Mikowski.
be proud to request a resolution for Ms. Irma, August, for her birthday, 95th birthday on August 18th.
I'll support that.
Been motioned by Ms. Mikowski, supported by Ms. Choate, recognizing Ms. Wells for her 95th birthday on August 18th. Ms. Mikowski,
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next, I'd actually, unfortunately, like to ask for a memorial resolution for the family of Jeanette Poole. It's P-U-H-L. She's a member of the Community Methodist Church. There will be a service, memorial service at Crane's, 10 a.m. this Friday.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Mikowski for Mr. Poole memorial resolution. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Mikowski.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Just a footnote also, Sounds of Downtown is canceled for this Friday. Apparently, there was an illness in the family of the performers, so that won't happen this Friday. That was going to be our last. We'll keep you posted on that as we move forward. And my normal business report tonight, first, what you have in front of you is 5A. And what we have is a request to extend bid award 11/12-07, and that's for an additional 3 years through 6/15 of 2017 at the same pricing that Mowers for the rental and laundry uniforms that are for both mostly DPW and building department employees.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for the extension of bid 11/12-07. It's for the uniform rental and laundry, and it goes through June of 2017.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, to extend bid award 11/12-07 for additional 3 years through 6/15/2017 at the same pricing for the rental and laundry of uniforms for DPW and building department. Any discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Mikowski.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5B. What you have before you is a request to extend bid award in RFP 12/13-38. That's for one additional year going up through the 17th of August in 2017 with Innovative Computers for hardware and software purchases, computer maintenance, and consulting services, with the permission to make hardware and software purchasers for both CDW Governmental LLC and Zones, Inc.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes.
I move that we authorize the extension of bid RFP number 12/13-38 for computer hardware, software, licensing, and maintenance services.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Mikowski, supported by Ms. Choate, to extend bid award RFP 12/13-30 for one additional year for the computers and hardware, software purchases, computer maintenance, and consulting service, permission to make hardware and software purchases from both CDW, Government LLC, and Jones Incorporated. Any discussion? Hearing none, Ms. Mikowski.
Yes.
Ms. Choate.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Mr. Kraut.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5C, and what I'm preparing to present to you is a request to award bid 14/15-02. That's the lowest qualified bidder and responsible bidder, Accuform, for the printing and mailing of up to 4 city newsletters.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'd like to make that motion to award bid 14/15-02 to the lowest qualified and responsible bidder, Accuform, for the printing and mailing of up to 4 city newsletters.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to award bid 14/15-02 to the lowest qualified bidder and responsible bidder, Accuform, for the printing and mailing of up to 4 city newsletters. Any discussion? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5D, and that's a request to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into an agreement with Gabriel Roeder, Smith and Company for the actuarial valuation to be determined for the city's retiree health care liability. And that was the same company we've used in the past also.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes, Ms. Makowski?
I move that we approve the expense for the retirees' healthcare actuarial valuation of $14,000 as it's required every other year per General Accounting Standards Board Statements 43 and 45.
support,
Motion by Mr. Makowski, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into agreement with Gabriel Roller Smith and Company for actual evaluation to determine the city's retirees' health care. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5E, and what you have is again, this is coming back to you for the Parade of Lights route. After your last approval of the route that changed due to construction, we had a lot of discussion with our Pumpkin Festival Committee, with the Romulus Rotary, and we've come up with a great solution for a new starting point. The featured musical group that's going to be that Friday night would have caused, we felt, a lot of congestion right at the Bibbins and Hunt area. So what we're proposing to you tonight is to authorize the closure of Tobine Road from Romulus Senior High School parking lot, which is where the parade will now start. It'll go south to Shook, then to Goddard, then downtown through 5 Points. So we're not starting at City Hall. We felt with talking to public safety, talking to Rotary, everybody involved, we did not want to send people down Bivens Road right into a musical group that's going to be bringing thousands of new people into our community with construction. So this was the best option that came up, and everybody was in agreement. The schools were in agreement. The Rotary was in agreement, Pumpkin Fest, and so was public safety. So it's better to think it out and do it right, so that's why we have this additional change of the route.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for the revised request of the 2014, the parade route and road closure.
Support.
The motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to authorize the closure of Tobine Road and Romulus High School parking lot. South to Shook Road, south to Goddard Road, and west on Goddard to 5 Points from 7 to 10 p.m. Friday, September 19, 2014, for the Rotary Parade of Lights. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
yes,
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes, I did want
Chair-
to discuss something though first.
Chair votes yes. You want discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead.
First of all, I think this route does make a lot more sense, but I'm hoping that we can notify the people on Shook Road, because they're not used to having, the ones that aren't used to having the parade go, if we could send a notification.
Sure, we're going to try to notify both the people that it's going to be a new route and those that are used to it coming down their street that it's not going to happen. I think getting the word out and advertising is key. That's what we want. We want to get on this change right away, so we have a few weeks to be able to do that. But we're going to try hard, and between now and the event as well, if council can help with that, spreading the word to people, because it's a different temporary route for this year.
But it really makes a lot of sense, it really, good.
I feel better about it. We were concerned that we're going to be pulling a lot of people into one congested area, and that, may not have worked out well.
Just so we notify the residents on Shook Road, that would be the one I would request.
Thank you.
Okay. Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Okay, thank you, council. Next up, what you have before you is item 5F, and this goes back to one of our rocks and directives that we've been working on as a team. Mr. Bob McCrate has worked hard on veterans initiatives and his own personal time, and also as a city, I think it's really important. We've done things like Flag Day and other things. What we're proposing is a couple new things, and there's actually two motions that I'm going to be asking council to consider adopting tonight. One would be for a no-fee permit to use the Romulus Historical Park, which is where we want to hold a flag-raising event and ribbon cutting for the new Veterans Plaza. That the monument was moved this last week. It's not complete, but it will be by this day, which is Veterans Day. And in the second action, what I'm asking for is to have a parade for the veterans. And what we're proposing is a road closure from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. For a parade route to go from Progressive Hall, down Goddard to Bibbins, down Hunt, and then finish up at that historical park where the new monument will be. So I think it's important that we show support for all those who have fought hard so we can be here today, doing what we do with the freedoms that we have. So this is something that I compliment our team, especially Robert McCrate, for his passion for making sure that we're looking after veterans.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe?
I'll make that first motion to authorize a no-fee permit for the use of the Romulus Historical Park on November 11th, 2014, to hold a flag-raising and ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new Veterans Plaza.
Support.
Support. Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Kraut, to authorize a no-fee permit for the use of the Romulus Historic Park on November 11th, 2014, to hold a flag-raising and ribbon-cutting ceremony for the new Veterans Plaza. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And there's a second one?
I'll make the second motion too, to approve the following road closures from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and that will be on November 11th, 2014, for the parade route from the Progressive Hall to Goddard Road North to Bivens Road East to Hunt Street, then south to the Historical Park.
Support.
The motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, to approve the following road closure from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. for the parade route from Progressive Hall to Goddard Road North, to Bivens Road East, to Hunt Street, then south to Historic Park. Any discussion?
Mr. Barton, I've got a question for the mayor after you take the vote.
Okay. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
If I could,
Yes,
to the
Mr.
mayor,
Walker.
Mayor, we did move that plaque from downtown it's been there since 1918 or something. And it was a vocal point of a history in our town. I'm just wondering, is anybody looking into it to put possibly a small plaque in that place to say where it stood all the years? I don't know if that's a possibility, but it is a point of history in our town.
Absolutely. I know I attended a few meetings, it was part of a DDA project when they moved that. We heard there were some historical commissioners that came forward. There was a group called the Sunshine Club.
Sunshine Club,
That
right.
started that memorial in the First World War. The prior administration and my administration have tried to be very considerate to keep the original respect and
I was
feel.
part of that too, if you remember.
Yes, I mean, I was actually there the morning they were moving it, as long as some of my staff to make sure it went well. We did not want to have any damage to that in any way, shape, or form. I think once it's done, I think the people are going to be pleased that it shows the spirit of what was done back in World War I, and also it reflects the historic image and fits with what we're doing down there. So I totally agree with you.
And I'm not looking for nothing big and elaborate, but a small plaque that could sit there for the next 100 years, barring any,
There's
say
gonna
that
be
this is
some-
where it originally was.
There's going to be signage as well, kind of telling the story. The other thing that at the other war memorials, I know that we're looking at possibly reinvigorating the bricks at the war monument in front of the courthouse. So It's moving forward and going well, and it's critical that we don't forget our history and why it was there, and those who gave their lives in that war. I had a grandfather in that war as well in the Army, so
Okay.
means a lot to me.
Fine. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions on that? If not, 5G, what we have before you is an appointment. This is for the Property Disposition Commission, and I'm asking to reappoint Abby Akins and Reverend Ed Thomas to serve a term expiring January 25th of 16.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Mr. McCoskey, supported by Mr. Kraut, to approve the reappointment of Abby Atkins and Reverend Edward Thomas to the Property Disposition Committee with terms expiring January 25th, 2016. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. McCoskey?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item was one that the deputy clerk mentioned that we had a request from the audience. So, Mr. Chairman, if you want to call on that individual, and I'll be happy to address any questions through the chair that
Yes,
you
who
may
is-
have.
It's Virginia Williams.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor, Council,
Good evening.
absent clerk, treasurer. I'm here this evening. I looked at the agenda about the leasing of the Mount Pleasant School. And I just wanted to know who authorized the city to renovate the Mount Pleasant, or to even, how did this come about?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr.
This item actually doesn't have to do with Mount Pleasant School. The item, maybe I misunderstood, I has to do with the park at Mount Pleasant Elementary. This item, what's before you, has to do with us utilizing the school buildings for our recreation programs. So, for example, the programs that Tanya Cofield is working on for our residents, this is to allow us to use some of their buildings for some of those activities so we can take the recreation to those areas to better serve the community. But the next item is about the park at Mount Pleasant Elementary. That's I.
Okay.
Was-
I can address that here if you'd like, or
You want them addressed now, Ms.?
Well, excuse me, my whole concern is covering both of them, if you don't mind. I was under the impression last year, year before last, the school added Mount Pleasant and also Merriman School as, for sale as a part of the debt elimination plan. And to my knowledge, they hadn't took that off. So to allow the city to rent that facility for $1, where are we at with that? How much is the city tax dollars is going to invest into this school that should still be up for sale?
Sure. Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
The Mount Pleasant Park, there's currently, the property is for sale at Mount Pleasant and Merriman. I believe they took some action to lease Merriman tonight as well. How this came about was when our team was doing assessments of parks. As you know, we're trying to do more things with parks. There's a very active couple Little League ball diamonds behind Mount Pleasant that's also part of school property, that the Little League also understands that that's property up for sale. When our team went through that area, we saw a bunch of kids playing at the ball diamonds and this old rundown park just to the south of the street, and it's open so that people can get in it right now. Our thought was, hey, we've got a lot of people utilizing the park. They're coming there with families and siblings. Why don't we, at very little cost, basically rent it lease it from $1 from the schools? We'll have our people, our seasonal and Teamsters go in. Let's clean it up and make it safe. Therefore, if they do sell it, we know that it'll be sold with that, but there's really no exposure to us other than trying to enhance what's there. Potentially the Little League Diamonds, if they do sell that whole parcel. I know the schools are actively, yes, trying to sell buildings, but right now the fact is that people are getting in that park, and as you saw earlier with some of the photos, it's not safe. My obligation as mayor is to make sure we have safe recreation. So it was kind of a creative idea. You know, it is a school property. We're just going to lease it. We're just going to do fix-up so that it's safe. And then it's still property of the schools that is up for sale.
Okay, we're jumping around. That's about the parks. My issue goes back to, I know it was at least 3 churches that wanted to lease or rent those 2 schools, and the school turned them down. So what happened that they're willing to allow the city to rent or lease for $1?
Mr. Chair, I can't speak to that. I don't know, I'm not aware that the schools had proposals to buy or lease. It was just an idea that we thought would enhance the quality of life for the residents, and we have one resident that's serving, you know, both our city and our schools, so we thought it would be a good complement. But I'm not aware of any agreements that they had or didn't have that were approved by the school at all.
No, I didn't say they had one that was approved. I said 3 different churches attempted to lease or rent
Okay.
either school, and they turned them down because they said the schools were up for sale. This was the former superintendent. My concern with the schools, because I went in with the former superintendent, Mount Pleasant anyway has asbestos, it has lead-based paint, and with the roof leaking or getting ready to collapse, I'm sure there's mold. So why would, and this is, I guess, pertaining to the recreation part, why would the city or the school subject any kid to those type of chemicals?
Mr. Chairman, let's be real clear. We have no intent of putting any kids in that building. What we're talking about is the park across the street that is currently open, so we would not expose any kids to anything that is not currently an open building. So buildings that we're looking at are using that are actively used as school buildings for recreation. So we are not proposing with anything I have here to put kids in any of those buildings.
Ms. Roscoe, you would say
Ms.
something?
Williams, in the back of the agenda packet that we have in regarding the leasing of the buildings, it names the buildings that we would be leasing. And that would be Romulus High School, the Romulus Middle School, Barth Elementary, Hale Creek, Romulus Elementary, and Wook Elementary.
Okay.
It does not include Mount Pleasant or Merriman
Merriman.
at all.
Correct.
I mean, we will not be in those buildings, we will not be doing any maintenance on them buildings or anything. It's just the park.
That's a relief, because I was under the impression that it was Mount Pleasant and Merriman. And I know after going over with the former superintendent that there were major problems within Mount Pleasant anyway.
We're trying to do a lot with a little. And by opening that park, and hopefully if somebody buys Mount Pleasant School, they will look at leasing those back Little League fields to the Little League program. You never know. That hopefully they'll still be up and running back there, whoever comes in and leases or buys those buildings. And at that point, hopefully we'll be able to still keep that small park open, because it's a very small little park there, but it is used by a lot of kids. It used to be at least when they could get into it, and the grass wasn't high and so on and so forth. So that's the goal there. That's the goal, because there's so many kids that are back there in that area for the ballparks to maintain that area over there and keep it safe all the way around.
So have the council or the mayor looked into McAnally's Park or Raspberry's Park?
Mr. Chairman, yes, we've toured all the parks. We're trying to do things creatively, as Ms. Roscoe said, all without new tax dollars. So we're going to continue to try to find creative ways to do that. And we've looked at all existing parks and some new options, too.
So do you have an idea pertaining to McAnally's Park? There's a large amount of kids, in that area also.
I don't have a proposal for council on that park at this time.
Good,
Okay, well, thanks so much.
thank you.
So if there's no other discussion on that one, 5H, what you have before you, council, that is just a request to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Romulus Schools for the use of the Romulus School buildings, as were read by Ms. Roscoe, for the purpose of city recreation programming at a cost of $1 per year per building through August 15th of 2015. And this agreement also was reviewed by Steve Hitchcock and approved by the school board.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Makowski.
I would love to make a motion that rents a school building for $1 a year for the use of our kids. So that I'd like to make the motion that we approve the intergovernmental agreement with Romulus Schools for the building use and lease agreement for recreation programming, as outlined earlier.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Kraut, to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the intergovernmental agreement with Romulus Schools for the use of Romulus school buildings for the purpose of city recreation programming at a cost of $1 per year per building through August 15th, 2015. Any other discussion?
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Just a quick comment to the mayor. We don't intend to spend any money in nails or wood or cement in any of these.
No, this is really just to make it safe. Clean up, make it safe, using our own
Thank
staff.
you.
Different than what we're talking about at Merriman.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5I, and as we talked about earlier, what you have before you is a request to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into an intergovernmental agreement with Romulus Schools. This is for the restoration and reopening of the Mount Pleasant playground area for the city of Romulus for $1.
So moved, Mr. Chairman, for Mount Pleasant Elementary School playground to lease for $1 a year.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the intergovernmental agreement with Romulus Schools for the restoration and reopening of the Mount Pleasant Elementary School playground area by the city of Romulus at a cost of $1 per year. Any discussion? Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5J. What you have is introduction of Budget Amendment 14/15-4, and that's to allocate the unused balance of the $266,000 that we spoke about in our study session for fiscal year 13-14, earmarked for city park renovation. And by the way, this is how there's still dollars left in that we're hoping to look at other parks, but my intent as our administration is to look at opening parks and have a sustainable plan to keep them open. I don't want to just open parks and have to close parks and spend money and then have parks be run down. So we hope to be wise with those as we bring to council.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion.
Okay, Ms. Abdo.
I'd like to make the motion to introduce Budget Amendment 14/15-4 to allocate the unused balance of $266,000 received in fiscal year 2013-14 earmarked for city park renovations.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Choate, to introduce the budget amendment 14/15-4 to allocate the unused balance of $266,000 received in fiscal year 2013-14 earmarked for city park renovations. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is 5K, what you have introduction to Budget Amendment 14/15-6, and that's to reallocate major road funds to the local road funds for additional Brant Road repairs. That's one of the roads that we've had major issues with that we plan to make some improvements on this year.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make that motion to introduce Budget Amendment 14/15-6 to reallocate major roads funds to the local roads funds for additional Brant Road repairs.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, to introduce Budget Amendment 14/15-6 to reallocate major road funds to the local roads funds for additional Brant Road repairs. Any discussion? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the last item for business tonight is 5L, and what we have is a request to authorize Department of Public Works to dispose of a 1999 GMC Sierra in accordance with the city's property disposal policy, and that would be through Martin's Towing Company with a disposal fee of $50 per vehicle. As we've done in the past, that's a disposal fee, and then what we get on the vehicle is what we get for disposal.
So moved.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Choate, to authorize the Department of Public Works to dispose of a 1999 GMC Sierra in accordance with the city property disposal policy through Martin's Towing with a disposal fee of $50 per vehicle. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The last thing on our report, I got to give a shout out to my grandson Gavin, who's 2.5, and he's home watching a council meeting. I don't know why. But you know, for a 2.5-year-old to be sitting there, good job, Grandma, keeping him patient, watching that. So way to go. We've got him for the week, and what a blessing. So I'll get to bed, Gavin. That concludes my report. Thank you.
6A is the clerk's report. 6A1 is for second reading, final adoption of city policies and procedures that were introduced at the August 4th, 2014 council meeting.
So moved, if I may.
Yes.
To approve second reading, final adoption of the city policies and procedures 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12, 14, 20, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, and 33. Good job to that group that worked on those procedures.
Motion by Ms. Makowski, supported by Mr. Kraut, for second reading and final adoption of city policies and procedures as presented by Ms. Makowski. Roll call vote. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
6A2 is introduction of amended ordinance, Chapter 36, Division 4, Controlled Substances, Sections 36-269, Medical Marijuana.
Mr. Chair, if I may,
Yes, Ms. Makowski.
I move that we approve the introduction of the amended ordinance, Chapter 36, Division 4, Controlled Substances, Sections 36-269, the very minor revisions on the medical marijuana ordinance.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Makowski, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the introduction of amendment ordinance, Chapter 36, Division 4, Controlled Substance, Section 36-269, Medical Marijuana. Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I just want to make mention that to the people listening out there, that the changes to this amendment were due to the changes in the state law. These are putting us in line with the state law.
Thank you, Ms.
And to
Abdo.
add to that, that is correct, and that basically the name now of the ordinance reflects the state law, which was the Michigan Medical Marijuana Act, not Act 7 of the Public Health Code and so forth. So it now does correspond to state.
Great, great.
6A3, City Assessor Julie Albert is requesting that council schedule a public hearing on September 22nd at 6:45 PM to hear comments on the proposed special assessment district for water control pump station project for the Oakwood Industrial Park subdivision. And she's also requesting a public hearing on the same evening at 7 PM to hear comments on the proposed special assessment roll for the water control pump station project for the Oakwood Industrial Park subdivision.
So move, Mr. Chairman, for public hearing of Oakwood Industrial Specialized Assessment District for September 22nd at 6:45 and 7 p.m.
Support.
Motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Makowski, for the public hearing request for Oakwood Industrial Special Assessments District, September 22nd at 6:45 PM and 7 PM. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
6A4 is a request for a free citywide yard sale. The dates would be Thursday, September 25th through Sunday, September 28th, with rain dates of Thursday, October 2nd, through Sunday, October 5th.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Ms. Roscoe.
I'll make that motion to request a free citywide yard sale from Thursday, September 25th through Sunday, September 28th, with rain dates the following weekend, October 2nd through October 5th.
Support.
The motion by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Choate, for the request for a free citywide yard sale from Thursday, September 25th through Sunday, September 28th, with rain dates the following weekend, October 2nd through October the 5th. Any discussion? Ms. Roscoe?
I would imagine they'll be able to sign up, so you have a list of
Yes.
homes and when they're going to have it?
Yes, we
Down at the
will.
clerk's office? Okay.
Okay. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And 6A5 is, there's James Waginka. He is the chairman for the City of Romulus Pension Committee. He's requesting a study session with council on Tuesday, September 2nd at 7 p.m. to discuss a possible amendment to the City of Romulus pension ordinance.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Ms. Abdo.
I'll make that motion to schedule the study session on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2014, at 7 p.m. for the purpose of discussing an amendment to the City of Romulus pension ordinance.
Support.
Motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Makowski for a study session request for Romulus Pension Committee to discuss an amendment to the City of Romulus pension ordinance. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
There's just one for your information item, and that concludes the clerk's report. And 6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, deputy clerk, and audience. I have one item under my report tonight to share, and that's just a reminder that the summer tax bills are due September 30th. Thank you.
7 is public comment, and this is the part of the council meeting where the audience may address city council. There are no written requests this evening. If you would like to come before council, please raise your hand, and when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and state your name and address.
Yes, she wanted, I think you had your hand up first.
Good evening, City Council, Mayor. Linda Rodriguez, 12625 Hannon Road, Romulus, Michigan. I just want to come before you and thank you. I'm almost a lifelong resident of Romulus, and I graduated from Romulus Senior High along with Kathy. And I also graduated from the cosmetology school that we had there. I came out in the second class. It's amazing to me what we had in the early 70s in the school. I'm so appreciative. I just renewed my license, my 2-year license, for the 22nd time. And through our high school, we gained that. It was just so wonderful to have that license. But the bottom line is that I've been reinvited to the Romulus Senior Center through Rose and her staff and the community leaders. And I'm the one that provides the manicures for the seniors. And for the last 3 months, it's just been so gratifying, so wonderful to give back. There is a small donation, and that goes back for product, because I was still gainfully employed even as this year at the airport at the Be Relax Spa as a manicurist nail tech. So they received that spa therapeutic manicure. And it's so wonderful to see these seniors that, however, I don't know how we got these schools. I don't know how we got the auto lab, cosmetology school, the commercial food program, but it benefited all of us. And now to give back to the seniors, I'm just so grateful, so gratitude to do that. And I love hearing, I've never had a manicure before. My mom went to that senior center, and I didn't want to be emotional, but it just gave her so much fulfillment, and I love it. The only thing I'm asking council is that maybe in a study session later on in years, or next year, this year, if there could be a permanent kind of like place for the hairdresser and future manicurists, by all means, I am not looking for a business, but I'm looking for the goal to benefit those seniors that's most deserving of any kind of manicures, haircuts. They're our treasure. We've lost most of our relatives in my family, and to give back, it's just very wonderful. I'm so grateful to be still a resident of Romulus. It's wonderful to live here. I thank all of you for your dedication and your time to our city. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, just one more thing, too. Just thought. You see these Acadia books that you see the cities, Ann Arbor, Dearborn, Detroit. I don't know how we would come about getting the Acadia Press Company to do a book on Romulus. We're the gateway to the world. I want to read the history of my town. You know, we have a lot of history here and a lot of things that's wonderful. And I don't know, the school counselors, I looked at all the mayors. I know our town was incorporated in 1970, but to have those programs, maybe one day they can come back because they benefit the students. Not all children is going to go to the U of M or Michigan State. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, can I make a comment?
Yes, Ms.
I just wanted to say thank you for your services, because I know that that means a lot to those seniors, to have somebody that cares enough to come in and take care of them, and I think it's wonderful, so great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Lemon, I think you had your hand up.
Good evening, Jan Lemon, lifetime resident of Romulus. Just like to talk a minute about that monument that was moved. That was 1917 and when it was put there. And I've walked by that monument for well over 70 years. I've seen the picture of where it's going to be, and it is beautiful. I hope whoever is in charge of this takes a good look. About maybe 10 years ago, somebody restored, and that is peeling off. Well, I hope the rest of that can be peeled off and the bronze be left original. There's one more, Mr. Wadsworth. Thank you for trying to dedicate a spot, because it does need a sign of some kind on that corner.
Without a doubt.
The landing strip has a sign that I think needs to come down. They were not established in 1902. That was Kingsley and Taylor Lumber Company. So why they think they can have that up there, I don't know. But it's not appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Treasurer, Deputy Clerk. Robert McLaughlin, 16268 Wild Fox. I wanted to speak about a couple of things tonight. The first thing is I just came from the Board of Education meeting, and I'm absolutely thrilled that the mayor, the administration, and the council have taken the actions they have to begin restoring the recreation programs for our children. The board had been asking for that, the district had been asking for that, residents had been asking for that for several years. It's a win-win. It's providing programming for our children after school in what's known as the latchkey period. The leasing, I'm sure council is aware, but the leasing, that's more legalese than it is money. The dollar doesn't matter. It's about legalese, providing that the city will have a place to plan their programming that benefits our children. And I'm certainly not speaking on behalf of the school district, but I will say as a taxpayer here that we already pay for those buildings, so it does not make economic sense for us to pay twice to pay the school district a rent to run a program that's for our community. That just doesn't make good economic sense. The other thing that I wanted to say is, the young lady that just spoke about providing the manicures, thank you so much. It's so nice to see people giving back to their community. And I was on the board when the cosmetology program, when we had to cancel it. And that was a very hard decision to make, but the sad reality is there was only about 2 students that registered to take the class, and unfortunately, money comes into the picture. But if student demand is there, of course, then the logic is that program will come back. So the important thing is that we all support our community, and Mayor Berghoff, you're making leaps and bounds, restoring things, and the council is behind you. And I just want you to know it's not going unnoticed. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Green, I think you wanted to speak.
Good evening, Darius Green, 6065 Essex, Romulus. Council, Mayor, Stacy, citizens of Romulus. First off, I want to speak from the north end, Mayor, and congratulate the council and the DPW, building department, everybody for restoring Fernandez Park. For a long time, we've been waiting for that park to open back up, and we love the job you guys done down there. Chief Dickerson, you guys did, I'm just telling you, community service, everybody who pitched in, and guaranteed we're gonna keep that park up. You have my word on that. Secondly, I'm here because we're Romulus residents for a social change, and in that aspect, our mission is to restore the mentality of it takes a village to raise a child. Now, the past couple of weeks and the past events that we've had here, we've had some children that were, a little raunchy or whatever, but then us being as parents, when we say something to them, then who is that talking to my child? I don't know that person, or I don't know this person. Okay, well, in speaking with other community leaders and other people around in our community, we've decided to open the doors at the community center from 3 to 9 p.m. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, in order that you can come out and know who your neighbor is. And it's not only for Romulus residents, but it's for anybody else who wants to be a part of Romulus and the vision that we have. The community meet and greet is at the Thomas J. Coleman Center, 35351 Beverly Road. And it's an open forum, like I say, just to discuss current events that affect our community. Social activities, we'll be playing dominoes, chess, or whatever, and it's just an opportunity so we can get to know one another. Because I don't want to be out there saying something to your child, and then you come up in my face talking about this, that, and the third, because it's not going to work. If your child is wrong, he's wrong. And you need a parent or an adult out there to help supervise what you 9-to-5ers are doing. You understand what I'm saying? So it helps everybody. It works everybody. Years ago, and this is how Romulus was. Ms. Lemon, I know you can remember this too, because you've probably been here forever. But anyway, you used to you do something on one street, the next neighbor got to you, and by the time you got home, there wasn't no question about were you in trouble. It was what kind of discipline were you going to face when you got there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need to get back in our community. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Green. Any other comments in the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, everyone. Gina Stewart, 10748 West Jefferson, River Rouge. I just had a question for the leasing of the buildings for the recreational programs. I know you lease it for $1, but who is responsible for the electricity and the water and all that? Will it be the school or will it be the city?
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Chairman, still they're school active buildings, so basically they're covering those costs. Liability, we have insurance, they have insurance, but as far as utilities and so forth, those are on the schools. And the whole premise of that is kind of to the prior speaker, we have one resident. They're paying school taxes, they're paying city taxes, so to get into high rent and offsetting costs and trying to track it, we're serving one community, so currently that agreement is $1 to lease the building, so we can run our programs. They just wanted to have a legal agreement that Steve Hitchcock looked at, but as far as same wear and tear as if it was their own activity and utilities being provided by the schools, which we appreciate.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Okay, we will close that part out.
8 is unfinished business. 9, new business.
Mr. Barton.
Yes,
I've
Mr.
got a couple of
Wadsworth.
things, and I'll be very quick about it. Every day you come to council meeting and you learn something, and I learned tonight that this young lady sitting next to me and her husband Mike, it's their 35th wedding anniversary today. And why are you at the meeting? Why aren't you home with your husband? Number 2, I'm looking for bingo volunteers. And on a more serious note, and this will be to Mayor Lambert, I think most of us have paid attention to the 6 o'clock news, and I realize what I just said, and I apologize. I apologize 10 times, 11, 12 times. I was on the news now, getting back to a more serious thing. Of course, I once called Mayor Oakley Mayor McAnally, so everybody's even.
We know who you're talking about.
Okay. On the news recently, we've seen that they're starting to explore for gas and oil and fracking. We've seen it out in Shelby Township, and they showed up at their rig, and they said they were 436 feet from the closest home, so they could put a 100-foot rig up in the air. Are we looking into, so we don't get sideswiped and have the attorney look into what we can or can't do or something we should do so this doesn't happen to us?
Yes, we get a general legislative action report from our lobbyist, Much More Harrington, that we pay. We don't have any current projects that I'm aware of going on locally that would impact by fracking, but he keeps us abreast and gives us reports on legislative action through Lansing that's going on throughout the state. But I'm not aware of anything, Mr. Wadsworth, as far as any interest or any activity.
Well, I'm not
currently that's
aware of
going on.
anything else, but probably the first time that we're going to hear about it is when our telephone rings, someone's going to ask, well, why is there a rig out in that field? And
I'll have him ask if there's anything specific to our region and have him report back to us. That's what he's there for, so I'll be happy to pass that along, but I'm not aware of anything.
Okay. And thank you, Mayor Burcroft.
10 is communication.
I have one
Yeah, we have,
communication, Mr. Chairman.
we have,
If I could, I wanted to wish a happy anniversary to Mr. and Mrs. Abdo.
Thank you.
And also, I was handed another one that Lynn and Ken DeChote yesterday was 57 years. Is that right, Linda?
Yes.
So while we're
57.
recognizing, but good to recognize success and longevity and happy marriages. So just to pass it on. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Where are we under, new business or?
new business.
I think we're still under new business?
Yes, still are.
Okay. I'd like to ask for a motion for a resolution for the Telegram newspaper. And I'm glad that Gina's here tonight with us. Get support for that motion?
Support.
Just a little bit about the Telegram newspaper. Was founded in 1944 in Ecorse, Michigan, with the mission to cover news that affected the minority community and has been in continuous publication since that time. The late J.C. Wall, who passed away in 1997, published it for over 50 years. The Telegram covers areas Ecorse, River Rouge, Southwest Detroit, Inkster, Michigan, here in Romulus. Gina Wilson, who's in the audience with us tonight, took over the newspaper in 2006. The Telegram has since doubled in size and is in over 13 cities. The staff is involved in hosting food drives, Meals on Wheels, supporting Goodfellows, youth programs, and many other community organizations. The Telegram is helping the next generation of media personnel by establishing internship programs, which is a great idea, with local colleges and high schools. And I would just like to congratulate you on 70th year, of being in, being the news. And if you'd like to, you can come up and get this resolution that we have signed by all city council, Mayor Burcroft, Stacy Page, our treasurer, and Ellen Bell.
You are the news.
It was motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Kraut, for the Telegram News proclamation. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. Under new business, I wanted to do a memorial resolution for, I know everybody probably heard of the Marvelettes. I was gonna, one of the hit songs was, I was gonna give this to Bill Wadsworth, because one of the hit songs was Don't Mess with Bill. So, but I want to take this.
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Let somebody support it and go ahead with your.
Do I have a support?
Support.
Okay. Ms. Beatrice Dawson was born October the 5th, 1916 in a small town of Atlanta, Texas. She was the oldest child of 7 siblings, born to Berlin and Osborne Dawson. She accepted Christ at an early age, attending Baptist Church in Ostos, Oklahoma. It was there where her talents of singing and playing piano took root. She played piano for both church and local Methodist churches. Miss Dawson is the mother of Wanda Young, which was one of the lead singers of the Marvelettes. I attended, my classmate was Adoria Young, which lives in Romulus, and that was her mother. They lived in Romulus, mother of the Marvelettes. She's a very active person. She was 97 years old when she passed, and very active in the community, and she was well liked in the community. And the Marvelettes, and there's a very good group. They're from Inkster, and they really went on to be very famous, and all the siblings, and very nice people. Thank you.
I support that resolution.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Choate, for the memorial resolution for Ms. Dawson. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Crowd?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Okay, do 10, communication.
I do, Mr. Barton.
Yes. Communication, Ms. Roscoe.
I'd just like to thank the St. John's Lodge for the back-to-school event last Saturday. There was a lot of kids out, and the fire department for coming out and getting involved and spraying the kids down when it got warm. And we had the police department out with their dog, and I don't remember the dog's name, but the kids really like interacting with the dog and what have you. And all the games and whatever that leads up to getting their backpacks filled with supplies and what have you. And the kids were really, really happy to get the supplies. But also they had a horse and carriage out there, and they took kids on rides, and so it was a full afternoon event. But I just like to wholeheartedly say thank you, because there's a lot of kids that come out and they look forward to that every single year. They want to know when that event's coming, and if you didn't help or support the event this year or donate, you know, put it on your list of things to do for next year. But again, a big thank you out to St. John's Lodge.
Yes, and I also like to thank St. John's Lodge. I was unable to attend this year because I was in Lansing, but I tried to make it back, but it was too late. They had, gone, but I really appreciate it. I tried to support you each year, and I have supported each year, and I'll continue supporting each year. I think you guys do a great job. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Ms. Abbott.
Yes, I want to thank St. John's Lodge for allowing the schools to come there, set up our information booth. We were able to bring back a few people into the school system, which helps us a lot. I disseminated a lot of information to other people who are now looking to re-enroll their kids or to enroll their kids in Romulus. That helps that we work together on that. It's a great recruiting place for us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
11 is warrant 14-16.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Ms. Choate.
I'd like to make a motion that we pay warrant 14-16 in the following amounts. General Operating Fund, $57,051.22. Major Street Fund, $5,228.70. Local Street Fund, $2,646.55. Cable would be $426.02. Merriman Road Special Assessment is $5,368.23. Sanitation Fund is $3,918.54. Community Development Block Grant is $112.18. 911 is $3,605.38. Water and Sewer, $308,403.55. Motor Vehicle Fund, $79,896.40. Technology Services, $1,790.84. Retirees Insurance Benefits, $187,643.08. Property and Liability Self-Insurance, $11,988. Payroll Fund is $150,686.38 for a grand total of $818,765.07.
Support.
Been motioned by Ms. Choate, supported by Ms. Makowski, to pay warrant number 14-16 for $818,765.07. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Warrant 14-16 will be paid.
Number 12 is adjournment.
So moved.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Makowski?
Yes.
Mr. Kraut?
Yes.
Ms. Choate?
Yes.
Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.